Pause for a moment. Take a breath and envision yourself standing on the peak of a towering mountain. The wind whips sharply through your ears, carrying a chill that makes you feel alive. Below you stretches an immense ocean of infinite possibilities. Every dream is not some faraway mirage, but flowing rivers of energy, rivers waiting for you to step in, touch them, and shape their course. Have you ever wondered why life sometimes feels like an endless loop? Past memories echo like reverberations in a deep cave. They return again and again, while a radiant future seems forever out of reach. Like a twinkling star you can see, but never touch. That isn't fate, and it isn't random chance. It is the mechanics of quantum manifestation, where your consciousness is not just a bystander, but a sculptor, collapsing raw stones of potential into the masterpieces of reality you live each day. So let's begin this journey with Dr. Amit Goswami, the pioneering quantum physicist who overturned many classical notions of the universe. His theory consciousness selects from infinite reminds us that consciousness isn't passive. It is not simply sitting in the audience, watching the stage of life. Consciousness is the director. It is guided by vibration and frequency, collapsing infinite waves of potential into the specific particles of reality that form your world. You don't get what you want by accident. You don't receive your desires randomly. You receive what you resonate with through emotional frequencies, beliefs, and inner energy. It's like a radio tuning itself to one clear station amid countless chaotic waves. The past broadcasts through repeated memories. It anchors you in old loops, like a ship caught in a storm that never ends. But the future broadcasts through desire. Desire is not weak longing. It is a powerful inner pull, like a string tugging from the horizon, or quantum breadcrumbs scattered from the version of you that already exists in a parallel timeline. That version sends signals to guide you. From this foundation, we transition to Neville Goddard, the mystic who taught that living in the end is the golden key. He showed that we must imagine not with vague hope like a child praying, but with strong assumption, as if it has already happened. Because in the quantum field, everything already exists at the potential level, waiting for you to align and collapse it into reality. Your task is not to create the future from nothing that's an exhausting illusion. Your task is to collapse the version that already exists, through imagination and emotional intensity. Science makes this practical. Neuroplasticity is the bridge. When you imagine vividly with strong feeling, the brain doesn't just record, it rewires itself. It reacts as though you are living that reality right now. Your body floods with the biochemistry of success, joy, love, and freedom. Your inner frequency turns magnetic, drawing corresponding events from the vast quantum field. The observer effect, a cornerstone of quantum physics, reinforces this truth. You collapse reality through your focus. If you focus on worry or fear, you energize negative probabilities. It's like holding a flashlight in a pitch-black cave, shining only on shadows and monsters, while missing the glittering jewels right beside you. But if you shift your light to gratitude and possibility, the cave transforms. It becomes a palace of light, and every dream begins to take form under the beam of your consciousness. To change your broadcast, begin with identity. Who do you claim to be in this vast universe? Then look at narrative. What stories are you telling yourself and others each day? Stories that reinforce the past or empower the future. Finally, step into action. Embody the new frequency in every breath, every gesture, every decision. This is how you become the steadfast lighthouse on the quantum shore, emitting coherent light that cuts through storms, attracting the right ships, rather than chasing them blindly. Here lies the essence of the journey. Stop rehearsing negative past patterns and start broadcasting the future through heart-mind-body coherence. Change the signal, and your timeline shifts naturally, opening doors to synchronicities and miracles. And always remember, the universe's greatest secret lies in the frequency you are broadcasting right now. Now, to build a strong foundation for this journey. Let's take a profound dive into the life and work of Dr. Amit Goswami, the brilliant mind who transformed how humanity perceives reality and consciousness. He was born in 1936 in India, into a traditional family where science and spirituality often met at the dinner table. From a young age, Goswami was fascinated with physics. That passion carried him to the University of Calcutta, where he earned his PhD in 1964. Soon after, he migrated to the United States and became a professor of theoretical physics at the University of Oregon, a position he held from 1968 to 1997. Throughout his long career, he wrote textbooks, research papers, and countless essays. But his greatest legacy came not from equations alone, but from pioneering what he called science within consciousness. It was nothing short of revolutionary. Goswami dared to declare consciousness, not matter, is the fundamental ground of the universe. In his classic book, The Self-Aware Universe, 1993, he confronted the infamous quantum measurement problem. The mystery was simple, yet profound. When does a quantum possibility become an actual event? His answer was radical. Consciousness is the chooser. Consciousness does not merely observe. It selects from infinite possibilities, collapsing waves of potential into the particles of tangible reality. Picture it. The quantum field is like an endless ocean, waves rippling infinitely in all directions. Everything exists as pure possibility, but those waves don't collapse on their own. It is your consciousness, your focus, your vibration that pulls one wave into form, shaping it into your lived experience. And what guides this process? Vibration. Your emotions and beliefs act as the tuning fork. If your inner state vibrates with fear or scarcity, you resonate with timelines filled with struggle. It's like being stuck on an old radio dial, catching only static, only sad and repetitive programs. But shift your vibration into gratitude, love, or abundance, and the ocean responds differently. Suddenly, the waves collapse into a serene beach, a horizon filled with opportunity. Goswami wasn't a scientist hidden in a lab. He became what he called a quantum activist. His ideas reached the world through documentaries like What the Bleep Do We Know, 2004, and The Quantum Activist, 2009. In those films, he stood as a bridge between the precision of Western science and the wisdom of Eastern spirituality. His message was clear. The universe is not a blind Newtonian machine. It is alive, vibrant, interactive, and it responds to human consciousness. He often pointed to the famous double-slit experiment. When electrons are not observed, they behave like waves, multiple possibilities at once. But when observed, they collapse into particles, into one reality. The implication is staggering. Focus is not passive. Observation is an act of creation. Apply this to daily life. The past broadcasts through repeated memories. These memories dig deep grooves into your neural pathways, keeping you stuck in loops of repetition. Childhood wounds, old failures, disappointments, they become the static that drowns out new music. but the future that is where the real magic begins. Desire is not a childish wish. Desire is a signal. Think of it as quantum breadcrumbs, scattered by the higher frequency version of you that already exists in a parallel timeline. That version is calling you forward, leaving a trail for you to follow. This is what Goswami described as the soul magnet, a deep pull from within, drawing you into coherence with a version of yourself that you have not yet embodied but already exist as in potential. The desire itself is the proof of possibility. You long for it because some part of you already lives it. Goswami's work is backed not only by philosophy, but by experiment. Physics confirms that consciousness shapes reality. His challenge to all of us is this: become active observers of your life. Notice your vibration. Is your focus feeding worry and energizing negative timelines? Or are you collapsing positive probabilities through gratitude and awareness? Through Goswami's lens, manifestation is not superstition, it is science. Consciousness selects, vibration directs, resonance attracts. Imagine yourself as the conductor of a grand orchestra. Every emotional frequency you emit is a note. Play notes of fear and doubt, and your life's symphony sounds discordant. Play notes of love, confidence, and gratitude, and your reality harmonizes in ways that feel like miracles. Here is a practical example. A business person caught in scarcity often attracts failure after failure. Their inner broadcast is stuck on lack. But when that same person shifts their inner state, embracing an abundance mindset, opportunities arrive like waves crashing on the shore. Clients call. Collaborations open. The outside world mirrors the new frequency. This is the essence of Goswami's teaching. As he put it, the Newtonian worldview is outdated. Quantum shows consciousness as the ground of all being. With this foundation in place, we can now transition naturally to Neville Goddard. Goswami gives us the scientific base. Goddard gives us the script. Together, they form a bridge from theory to daily practice. Building on Goswami's theory that consciousness selects from the infinite through vibration, we now step into the work of a master of application. Neville Goddard. If Goswami gave us the science, Goddard gave us the art of daily living. Neville Goddard was born in 1905 in Barbados, into a humble family with no hint of the fame he would later achieve. At just 17, he migrated to New York City in 1922. He worked first as a dancer and actor, struggling to make a living in the arts. His life changed dramatically when he met Abdullah, a mysterious Ethiopian rabbi who became his teacher. Under Abdullah's guidance, Neville discovered the astonishing power of imagination. From that point on, he devoted his life to teaching and writing about it, becoming known as the father of what he called the law of assumption. His principle was clear: assumption, not external action, is what creates reality. Across his lectures and over 10 books, including Feeling is the Secret, 1944, and The Power of Awareness, 1952, he repeated the same message: the outer world is nothing but a projection of inner consciousness. The field of quantum entanglement, as Goswami might describe it, is mirrored in Goddard's teaching. Everything is connected, and your inner state is constantly shaping your outer circumstances. So what does living in the end mean? It means embodying your desired outcome as though it has already happened. Imagine no longer chasing the future like a rabbit chasing a dangling carrot. Instead, assume it is done, feel it deeply, and you collapse that version into being. In the quantum field, all possibilities already exist in parallel. Assumption is the magnet that pulls the parallel version you long for into alignment with your present life. Goddard's famous words: Imagination creates reality. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Make this practical. You don't simply daydream. You feel. You embody joy, gratitude, relief. These emotions become the energetic signature that tells the field, "This is who I am." He illustrated this with many examples, but one of the most memorable is the ladder technique. In a lecture, he asked his students to assume climbing a ladder, not just to imagine it vaguely, but to feel every detail, the texture of the wood, the weight of each step, even the smell of the ladder. A few days later, those students found themselves climbing actual ladders in waking life. Their brains, through repeated assumption, had broadcast a signal so clearly that reality echoed it back. This is the essence of Goddard's teaching. You are the operant power. Change your self-concept, and your world must change. If you assume the identity of a victim, the past will continue to broadcast negative memories that keep you stuck. But if you assume the identity of a creator, desire itself becomes the breadcrumb, pulling you toward coherence with a higher version of you. And this is not wishful thinking. Goddard treated it as directive force. Thousands of his students testified to transformations, people who were poor becoming wealthy, the sick becoming well, the lonely finding love, all by shifting their assumption and living from the end. To make this practical, Goddard taught the SATS technique, or state akin to sleep. Each night before drifting off, you relax your body deeply in this twilight state, where the conscious mind softens. You replay the end scene of your desire. You don't need a long script, just one vivid moment, the hug of a loved one, the sound of congratulations, the feel of a key in your hand. Short, emotional, repeatable. The body cannot tell the difference between real and vividly imagined. It floods with the biochemistry of success, and the brain rewires itself accordingly. This is where neuroscience meets mysticism. Neuroplasticity confirms what Goddard taught. When you imagine with emotion, the brain wires new pathways. Dr. Joe Dispenza extends this further. Elevated emotions like joy, gratitude, and love release chemistry that strengthens the signal. Think of your brain as a garden. Assumption is the seed. Emotion is the water. Neuroplasticity is the soil, growing the seed into a tree. From theory to practice, Goddard urged his students to use SATs every night, to assume it is done, to feel it real, and then to let the field respond. One of his famous examples tells of a lonely woman who assumed she was already in love. She embodied the feelings of partnership and walked with confidence. Within weeks, she met someone aligned with that state. The key to Goddard's teaching is subtle but profound. Living in the end does not mean denying current reality. It means refusing to take it as the ultimate truth. You still act. You apply for jobs, make calls, learn skills. But you don't act to prove your worth. You act because you already are enough. And when doubt or tension arises, don't argue with it. Don't wrestle with emotion. Instead, breathe. Place your hand on your heart. Return to the end scene. With repetition, the body remembers. And when the body remembers, reality begins to bend. Here is the natural bridge from Goswami's abstract science to Goddard's tangible practice. We now cross into neuroscience. Why do emotionally charged assumptions rewire the brain? Why does focus collapse reality? The answers lie in neuroplasticity, and the observer affect the mechanics behind changing the broadcast. Building on Amit Goswami's vision of consciousness, selecting from infinite possibilities, and Neville Goddard's practice of living in the end, We now arrive at the scientific bridge that explains why your imaginations can change your world: neuroplasticity. The brain is not carved in stone. It is not a fixed machine that only records the past. It is more like a living garden, constantly reshaping itself. Every thought, every emotion, every repeated experience plants a seed in this garden. Water it consistently, and it grows into a pathway. Over time, these pathways shape not just your thoughts, but your identity, your habits, your very sense of what is possible. Neuroplasticity shows us something powerful. The brain rewires itself not only from real experiences, but also from vividly imagined ones, especially when those imagined scenes are charged with strong emotion. When you imagine a future event with gratitude or joy, the same neural regions activate as if you were already living it. The brain doesn't care whether it's happening now or in your mind. It begins to wire for that reality, and the body responds in kind. When you feel as if you've already arrived at your dream, your body releases matching chemistry. Dopamine surges for joy, oxytocin for love and connection, cortisol drops, bringing calm and freedom. You literally become the future now. Your frequency stabilizes, and the quantum field mirrors it through resonance. Consider a simple but real story. A woman once trapped in financial anxiety began practicing daily visualization. For 21 days, she imagined herself already living in stability and gratitude. She didn't just think it, she felt it, in her chest and in her breath. Within weeks, she received an unexpected job offer. The outer world responded to her inner broadcast. To understand why this happens, we turn to the observer effect, one of the most profound insights in quantum physics. In the famous double-slit experiment, electrons behave as waves, multiple possibilities when unobserved. But the moment they are observed, they collapse into particles. Consciousness decides the outcome. In your life, the same principle applies. Where your attention goes, energy flows. If you focus on fear or doubt, you energize negative probabilities. It's like holding a flashlight in a pitch-black cave. If you shine it on fear, all you see are shadows and monsters. Meanwhile, treasures lie hidden in the darkness, unseen. But when you pivot your light toward gratitude, love, and possibility, the cave transforms into a palace of light. Jewels glitter where shadows once seemed overwhelming. Here's a real example. An entrepreneur obsessed with low revenue numbers found his business stuck. Every day he repeated the same fearful focus, and nothing changed. Then he shifted his practice. Each morning, he meditated on success, visualized new clients, and felt gratitude for opportunities not yet visible. Within 4 months, his business surged. The field mirrored the new broadcast. So how do you intentionally change your signal? Begin with identity. Who do you see yourself as? A victim chained to the past, or a creator pulling the future into? Now, identity is not just an idea, it lives in the body. Try standing tall, breathing deeply, moving as if your dream is real. When your body carries the posture of your future self, your signal strengthens. Next comes narrative, the story you repeat daily. Words are powerful. They carve grooves into the mind. If you say, "I'm not good enough," you broadcast lack. Replace it with, "I am becoming the version of me who receives with ease." That story is magnetic, with repetition. The field answers back. Finally, action. Not giant leaps, but micro steps. Each small step aligned with your new identity sends a stronger signal. Write a line of gratitude in your journal. Speak with confidence in one conversation. Set a clear boundary with kindness. These actions act like anchors, grounding your new broadcast in physical reality. And here, modern science offers even more proof. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that heart-mind-body coherence, when all three are aligned in harmony, accelerates manifestation. Using EEG scans and heart field measurements from the HeartMath Institute, his team has shown that meditation with elevated emotions produces a measurable magnetic field. That field influences not just your inner state, but your outer experience. Consider the story of a man chronically stressed, worn down by years of anxiety. Through coherence meditation, he learned to breathe with rhythm, to focus on gratitude, to align heart and mind. Within months, his health improved. Within 6, new career opportunities emerged. His outer world shifted as his inner broadcast stabilized. Picture yourself as a lighthouse on the quantum shore. If your light flickers with fear, you attract lost ships of chaos. But when your light shines steady with gratitude and love, you guide the right ships safely home. Quantum manifestation is simple. You attract not what you want, but what you are. And what if you slip back into old patterns? That's okay. The secret is not perfection, but re-choosing. Each time you notice yourself rehearsing the past, you pause, you breathe, and you choose again. Every re-choice strengthens the new pathway. Every re-choice stabilizes the new signal. This is how the soul magnet works. It is not about building something from scratch. It is about tuning into the version of you that already exists in potential, waiting for you to align. Every time you choose gratitude, every time you embody abundance, every time you return to coherence, you collapse that waiting reality into form. Start today. Shift your focus. Align your heart, mind, and body. Watch how quickly your timeline begins to bend toward the broadcast you choose. Let's pause here. Take a breath, and let everything we've uncovered echo within you. Goswami showed us that consciousness is the foundation. Goddard taught us to live in the end. Neuroscience and the observer effect remind us you hold the remote, choosing which channel to tune into, which frequency to broadcast. So don't keep replaying the old tape. The flashlight shines where you direct it. If you shine it on fear, shadows grow. But if you shine it on gratitude and possibility, the entire room transforms. When your signal is clear, you become the lighthouse standing tall, shining steady, guiding the right ships safely home. And if you want to go deeper, explore Awaken Your Quantum Power, a journey of 7 principles to keep your heart, mind, and body in harmony. These are not abstract theories, but living practices, each like a story you can carry into your daily life. The first principle is identity. Think of it like choosing your clothes each morning. If you put on the heavy coat of the victim, your day feels heavy. But if you wear the jacket of abundance, you move differently. You stand taller, you walk lighter, and the world reflects it back. The second principle is the end scene. Imagine it as carrying one precious photo in your wallet. You don't need the whole album, just one vivid snapshot, a hug, a congratulation, a key in your hand. That single scene, repeated with feeling, is enough to guide your heart like a compass. The third principle is emotion. Imagination without emotion is like a lamp without electricity. It doesn't shine. But when you add joy, gratitude, and relief, your inner current lights the bulb. Your signal becomes strong, reaching further than you realize. The fourth principle is breath. Breath is the dial on your inner radio. Just a few minutes of steady, coherent breathing tunes you to the right frequency. In those moments, your body becomes a clear antenna, broadcasting harmony into the field. The fifth principle is language. Every word you speak is a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious. Say, "I'm trying," and you plant lack. Say, "I'm becoming," and you plant strength. Over time, the garden grows exactly what you have been planting. The sixth principle is micro steps. Don't think you must leap across the mountain. One step is enough. Writing one line of gratitude, smiling with confidence in one meeting, making one small choice aligned with your future self. Each step lays a stone, and soon a path unfolds under your feet. And the final principle is rapid re-choose. Imagine carrying a compass in your pocket. Even if you wander off track, one small turn brings the needle back to true north. Power doesn't come from never slipping. It comes from choosing again quickly, refusing to stay stuck in the old broadcast. Each of these principles comes with a short practice. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day, small enough to fit into your routine, powerful enough to shift your entire signal. They are like stones paving a path through the quantum field, simple, steady, transformative. So here's your invitation. Tonight, before sleep, take 10 minutes, relax your body, step into that twilight state. Choose a single end scene, breathe deeply, steadily. Feel it as though it is happening now and tomorrow. Take one micro step aligned with that frequency. Then watch. Notice the synchronicities that appear, the unexpected message, the sudden invitation, the subtle door that opens. Remember, the past is a classroom, not a prison. It taught you, but it doesn't define you. The future is not something to chase. It is a frequency to broadcast, here and now. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be precise in the signal you send. So, in this very moment, what will you choose to broadcast? Stop replaying the past. Begin broadcasting the future starting today, and let the universe arrange the rest.